G'day guys, welcome back to the Rugby League Guru podcast. We've got our news catch up today. Got my 5'8" joining me once again. Kat, welcome back. What's doing?
Thank you. I'm just excited to be here. It's bright and early. We're diving right in because, obviously our first topic of the day will be Vegas, but that's where you're about to go.
Yeah, head off to Vegas tonight. Super exciting. The Kangaroo Tour. Didn't wear any of my merch to the studio today. All packed away, ready to go. I'll give you the hot tip. There's a bit of content coming their way, Kat, from the airport today and whatnot, which is going to be super exciting. And then it's going to be a big week in Las Vegas. Obviously, a lot of events on and whatnot. There'll be a lot of content coming your guys' way. So I am super excited, Kat. In no shock to anyone, I'm excited to go to Las Vegas. But just to have the rugby league vibe to it, I can't fucking wait. I was actually having a bit of a look around last night and I found like a couple of like live streams that are always on there in Las Vegas. I was just having a look at a few of the scenes and whatnot. And I found one of the stadium and Allegiant Stadium, and it looked unreal, lit up last night, had the NRL banner out the front. Wow. But then what I actually noticed is that in the same shot, there's actually a direct line between Allegiant Stadium and my hotel. I could see my hotel. So hopefully we snag a room that looks over the stadium. That'd be funny. Super keen. Can't wait for it.
Yeah, I think a lot of us who aren't heading over there will have a bit of FOMO this week, but it's all right. It's exciting. It's some nice growth for the game overseas. But we will be talking about a couple of injuries, a couple of contract extensions and some captaincy announcements. Before we do any of that, let's dive back into the Vegas chat. So you have media access for this weekend, which I think is really exciting. And I think it's awesome that someone like yourself has access like that. They should give you guys access. You're the ones who are keeping the game. You are the place that a lot of people go to keep up with the game. So I think it's really exciting for you that you get these media opportunities. Do you want to tell us a little about what you're going to actually be doing this week?
Yeah, so shout out to the NRL. Give me a media pass for this week. And it was really straightforward, to be completely honest with you, with the NRL, which was really good. Times are changing, which is fantastic to see. And yeah, I've sort of got the schedule of what it all looks like this week, all the events and everything, which the NRL's putting quite a bit on. Actually, it filled up my calendar very, very quickly, Kat, especially during the day and the afternoons, filled it up very quickly. There will obviously be plenty of opportunities for Kangaroo Tour catch-ups at night, bonding sessions, as we're calling them, which is going to be super fun. I know, talking to Hammy yesterday and Roasty, Ella, Tom and Eddie, we'll just sort of keep an eye on the socials. If you are in Vegas or going to be in Vegas, we'll just sort of let you know where we are, what's doing, where we're going, where we can all catch up. There'll probably be a few opportunities where I'll put out on my social media, Kat, just saying to people, hey, I want to film some content with some Aussies. I'll let you know where I'll be, what time I'll be there, probably down at the stadium or something like that. Captain's runs, I've got all the times and locations for those, which is going to be super exciting. Keen to get down there. I think I'm going to stand out like a sore thumb with the rest of the media world just quietly in my Could Be Anything merch and Kangaroo Tour. I'm going to look like the biggest dickhead of all time. Can't wait for that. The event that's caught my eye though, Kat, and it seems like the dribbliest thing of all time, and I'm heaps into it. Do you know what a combine is? Ever heard of that?
Is that like a military thing?
Nah, I guess you could kind of put it that way. But what it is, in the NFL, they have a combine, right, which is a day each year where, like, the next draft class, the guys looking to get drafted, they all go and do their test. That's where you see them doing the 40-yard dash.
Oh, I didn't know that was what it's called.
Yeah,
but
it's called the NFL Combine.
Yeah, I've watched many an NFL movie, seen
so
these
it's
things.
like, you see it. So it's like the thing where they jump up and they slap the flicking things, 40-yard dash, bench press, all this sort of stuff. So what the NRL's done is, I think it's on the morning of the game or the day before, maybe, I can't remember, there's a combine on. So for me, this is legitimately the Could Be Anything Olympics that I will be there at in full kit. Myself and Hammy have got some content ideas to build around that. That's going to be hilarious. I think it's just 50 American dudes, American athletes that want to have a crack to see if they get picked up by anyone. And I'll be there with the binoculars, the CBA merch. I'm really excited for that. I think it's going to be hilarious.
I think in future something like that should actually be sponsored by Rugby League Guru. It should be called the Could Be Anything Combine.
It's actually a perfect alignment. It is going to be fucking hilarious. Can't wait. Binoculars, clipboards. If I can get it all over there, we will be there. We'll be taking notes. We'll be doing it all. So that's probably to no one else the highlight event, but to me, I'm super excited about that. So, very exciting. There's obviously a number of like fan events over there, which if you're in Vegas, you'll know all about. Where the NRL is putting on certain events and everything. I'll be at every single one of those. So if you want to come up, say hello, come have a little brewski after, whatever it might be, we'll definitely be at those. I'll be on the street interviewing people, which reminds me, we've got to make sure all that shit's charged today.
We'll sort that.
Do need to do that. Super excited for Las Vegas. Going to be pretty busy working and whatnot. The podcast will be running as usual. I'm taking all my gear with me, all the gear, no idea, getting stuck into it. So, there'll be less YouTube content, but we are recording Beers and Break Evens a little bit early today to get it out to you guys on Wednesday. Major announcement on Beers and Break Evens. Major announcement cannot be missed on Beers and Break Evens. Our prize announcements. We're revealing the Stallion for 2024. It's all happening, Kat. It is a can't miss episode, that one.
Yeah, no, I mean, I won't be missing it, but neither should you.
Please don't you miss it. If you miss it, we're in serious. If you miss it, probably means they all miss it. So if you could grace us with your presence,
do not worry.
I'd appreciate it.
I will be there. All right, shall we dive into topic number one?
Yeah, I think you're all sick of hearing about how much fun I'm going to have in Vegas. So.
Unless there's more that you'd like to add about Vegas.
No, I think that pretty much covers it. But just keep an eye on the socials. There's going to be a lot of content coming out. Yeah. It's exciting.
Yeah, keep up with all the Guru socials because that is what I will be doing too. All right, so now this is an unfortunate event that occurred over the weekend, and this is one that you spoke about yourself already on socials, but Tom Gilbert's injury against the Warriors. Not what you want to see happening before the season's even kicked off, if at all, but very unfortunate for Gilbert.
Yeah, you obviously, it's not good to ever see any player injured, but Tommy Gilbert, who's just come back from a season-ending injury last year, devastating stuff. I just want to send all the best wishes to Tommy Gilbert. Once again, you don't want to see this happen to any player, but one of the best forwards in our game. Like, he's a guy that's a genuine star in our game and so important to that Dolphins side. So them losing Tommy Gilbert is a big whack. I guess the silver lining to this for the Dolphins is that they sort of got used to life without him last year. As much as it sucks, I guess there is that one little advantage. I think the way that it sort of impacts them, I think you'll see Kenny Bromwich move back into jersey 13, which I don't love, but he can play at a high click there. This is the beauty of the Dolphins, like in the squad they've built. You lose a guy like Tom Gilbert, who, in my opinion, he's obviously a Queensland representative, but if he was fully fit and available and playing good footy, he'd be in my Kangaroo side. So I think he's genuinely one of the best forwards in rugby league. The advantage that the Dolphins have is just the depth that they've built is unbelievable. Like, I personally thought one of Connolly Lemuelu or Ewan Aitken was going to miss their 17. Now they'll probably both make it because of this injury. But two sensational players there, Ewan Aitken in particular. I thought he was a real threat to miss this side. So the Dolphins, the squad they've built is unbelievable. I'll tell you this though, Kat, I feel really sorry for the Dolphins that, they've obviously built this incredible squad. They've found, you look at Hamiso when they signed him. He was a bench player for the Cowboys. You look at Jermaine Osako. Jermaine Osako was at the Titans and couldn't get a goddamn run. You look at, all these guys that they've got that were just unwanted by their clubs, not really being used. Cody Nikorima wasn't really a big piece of the South Sydney Rabbitohs. He goes up there, he absolutely kills it. Isaiah Cartel was playing fucking SG ball for the Penrith Panthers. I couldn't even tell you what Sean O'Sullivan was doing. He was the backup for the Penrith Panthers. Like, all these guys that they've plucked out of absolutely nowhere and turned them into stars. And Tommy Gilbert, he's one of the bigger ones. Like, the Dolphins and Wayne Bennett addressed that Tom Gilbert is a proper star of our game, probably before the rest of us realised. And they've managed to lose him in their first 2 seasons. It is just brutal, and you wouldn't wish it on any team, but the Dolphins, who are just starting to lose a star like that in the first 2 years, God, it's brutal.
Yeah. So it's a ruptured ACL. So they're looking at 12 months recovery. He's definitely out for the season. And like you said, there is a silver lining in that Dolphins are relatively stacked. There are other players that can go right in to replace him, but it is unfortunate. But I do like what you've said about how they've plucked this talent from various teams where they were previously underappreciated. People weren't seeing their potential, and they weren't being slotted into those sides. I think there's something really, really nice about that. And it probably goes to show why they did have such a great start to the season, and that as individuals, they've got a lot to prove as well. You know, like they're finding their place as individuals in that side, but also it's the Wayne Bennett effect.
It's Wayne 101, isn't it? Just getting the absolute best out of dudes. I'll tell you where else, and, you know, for me personally, this doesn't work out too badly, but, mate, the domino effect of this Tom Gilbert thing, that's a massive loss for Queensland.
Yeah.
He is a genuine star. I don't think he played the Origin series last year. Maybe he played game one, then he got injured. But once again, if Tom Gilbert is fit, he's almost an automatic in my Maroon side. So as a New South Welshman, I'm obviously happy he's not going to be there, to be completely honest with you, because he's such a good player. But yeah, Queensland, another big loss there as well, similar to the Dolphins. Maroons have so much depth that they will be okay. But yeah, devastating to see Tommy Gilbert missing the season. We'll see him in 2025. And I think that the entire league will be hoping and praying that Gilbert's manages to get through that season. Show us what he can do. So
definitely.
We wish Tommy all the very best. Really shit situation, but I think Wayne and the Dolphins, I'm pretty confident they'll put their arm around him, and he'll be back bigger and better in 2025.
I think so too, and I think that team will do everything that they can to make sure he slots right back in where he started.
Yeah.
Now, this I feel like as a Bunny supporter, talking about Adam Reynolds always hits a little different, because for me, he's the one that got away. The one loss to that side that I just still haven't come to terms with, but he's extended with the Broncos. So he's re-signed until the end of the 2025 season. I think this is a no-brainer, obviously, when you look at this Broncos side, what Reynolds has done for them since arriving. Like I said, it's a no-brainer. They were going to extend his contract, but the one that got away.
Yeah, it's a stinger. Adam Reynolds, he has just been such a good player for such a long period of time. Kat, can you just look up on your laptop? Can you get up the most points ever scored in the NRL by players? I think I saw Roasty talking the other day about this, about how Adam Reynolds, depending on how much longer he plays for, he could actually be a sniff to maybe grab this record. If not grab the record, he'll go pretty high on this list. Adam Reynolds, I remember watching Adam Reynolds playing for Maddo Sports when he was in year 12 and just watching him going, fuck. He just had something about him. And look, he was a little bit younger, so his running game, you saw it a little bit more. He had a really good running game, really nice step on him. He actually played in the halves for Maddo Sport with a fella named Benny Jones, who I believe is actually working at Maddo now, champion fella. And Ben Jones was the freak of that age group, redheaded fella who was an absolute gun. And they were the 7 and 6. And I'll tell you what, if you would have gone back then, Maddo Sports, I reckon it would have been 2007, 8, maybe a little bit after that, actually. And if you had a look at that side and you were to pick a guy that had played, 250 plus first grade games, you would have said Ben Jones for sure out of the two of them. But Adam Reynolds, his career's been unbelievable. Obviously made his debut for South Sydney, Rookie of the Year in 2012 or 13, I think he was. Won the comp in 2014 as the halfback of that side. You got to remember as well, and I think this is something that gets lost in translation a little bit with that premiership of yours, Kat, that Adam Reynolds, he won that premiership in his second or third year. Luke Keary won it in his 20th game. So a very, very young halves pairing. Keep in mind, in that game, the hooker was happy.
Yeah.
It's not spoken about enough what Adam Reynolds did that year. Sam Burgess obviously got the Clive that night, and I would have given it to Sam. But I'll tell you what, if you go back and watch that game, the kicking of Adam Reynolds that evening, as per fucking usual, was unbelievable. Yeah. If Adam Reynolds would have been given the Clive, I think if you take away the storyline of Sam Burgess and the cheek and, how it aligned with Scotty Sattler, I personally thought Adam Reynolds was very close to best on ground there. Took you to numerous prelim finals. You know, the amount of seasons that South Sydney that, you know, just ended because of a hamstring or because of something for Adam Reynolds. It was just unbelievable to watch. And a guy that's played in, what's that now, 3 grand finals he's made it to. He's obviously lost his last 2, won the first one, 2021 grand final against the Panthers, then the grand final last year against the Panthers as well. And I mean, 2021, you know, they lose by an intercept. 2023, the greatest comeback in NRL history. Like, there's a real argument that Adam Reynolds has been incredibly unlucky throughout his career. I personally think that it's very disappointing that Adam Reynolds didn't play more Origin football.
Oh, I completely agree with that. And I think to your point about his kicking style and just the way that he plays in general and the way that he brings out the best in those around him, that's something that was severely taken for granted, I think, until we experienced almost just one game without him. We thought, what are we going to do now?
Yeah, and you know, it's actually pretty impressive how Souths have managed to just get on with it post Adam Reynolds. But what he's done, like, you got to remember when he arrived at Brisbane, they were a wooden spoon side. They were in all fucking sorts, and it's easy to laugh at them after that grand final and whatever. And you know, I'm in New South Wales and I hate Brisbane. Don't get me wrong, but what Adam Reynolds has done and the way that he's brought that squad on has just been incredible. Yeah. And I think the greatest compliment to Adam Reynolds is that even when he's out, that Brisbane side still goes well, which for me as a senior player, it just shows how he's just picked up that entire club. I'll tell you a quick story before we move on from Adam Reynolds. I remember showing up to OzTag about 7 or 8 years ago. It was in the summer comp. We showed up and blokes on the other side of the field, all tattooed up, all wearing their rep OzTag shorts and everything. I was sitting there going, oh, geez, this will be an interesting one. And I could hear them, like, as they started the game, they was it 8 on the field in OzTag? They only had 7. And they're going, where is he? Is he coming? And they were talking to themselves, and I'm looking at them going, oh, you're probably not going to need an 8th. You'll be fine here. You'll be right. Anyway, one of them, as we kick off, one goes, yeah, he's on his way. He's just parking. Anyway, a few minutes into the game, the 8th shows up. It's fucking Adam Reynolds. And I'm standing there going, oh, Christ, here we go. As if we weren't going to get slapped enough, Adam Reynolds shows up here. And there was a moment in that game where Adam Reynolds took the ball to the line. He caught me in absolute no man's land. And I don't know why he did it, but he had me beat and he still threw the pass. And I took the intercept. And I got tagged within about a metre. And, I was carrying on a fucking treat to my mates going, I just intercepted Adam Reynolds, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, spoke to him after and he said, I can't remember the exact words to me. He said something to me. He's like, you know, you didn't intercept that. I threw a shit pass. And I was like, Adam, I'm well aware. Don't worry. I don't know why you fucking did it. And he went, I don't know why I did it either. But one of my favourite moments. It was unreal. Very good fella though. Like, just South Sydney through and through, played for Erskineville as he was growing up. And then, you know, you can still be down at Heffron playing OzTag on a Monday night and Adam Reynolds shows up for a game with his mates. You just love that.
That's so cool. Yeah, no, he's sorely missed from our side. But just you said earlier, you were talking about his points scored. There are 56 players who have scored 1,000 points or more, and he is 4th ranking. He's behind Cameron Smith, El Masri and Jared Croker, and he's the only player who's still actively
Adam Reynolds is the 4th highest point scorer in NRL history.
Correct.
What an effort. And
2,254 points.
Wow, that is incredible. From a guy that you all keep telling me is injury prone, God, that's a good knock. That's the other thing I don't like about Adam Reynolds and the way that people talk about him, the injury prone tag. The guy plays 20 games just about every single year. Does he carry niggles throughout the year? Is he injured every preseason? Yeah, but he still shows a jersey every single week, and it's something I respect about him so much.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And like I said, the one that got away.
The one that got away. Stinger.
Yeah, I know. All right, well, let's talk about this Sharks co-captaincy, which we're seeing more of these days, which is really cool. But we've seen Cam McGuinness get the call up alongside Dale Finucane for the Sharks.
Yeah, we just spoke about Adam Reynolds, a proud South Sydney boy. Cam McInnes, one and the same. Mascot Jets or Botany. Can't remember who Cam McInnes played for growing up. Came through the South Sydney system, ended up over there at the St George Illawarra Dragons. Was the captain there at a very young age, which is very impressive at a proud club like the Dragons. Has then made his way to the Cronulla Sharks, gone to their arch rivals. I believe the Sharkies actually signed him. He'd done an ACL and they signed him the week after, or maybe they signed him, then he did an ACL. I remember that when this came out that Cam McInnes had signed, he did a major injury around that time. We didn't see him for a year. He arrived at the Sharkies. I think he had a game last year where he made like 68 tackles or something like that, which just doesn't shock me in the slightest. Look, Cam McInnes, I've said it on a number of occasions that if Cam McInnes was a Queenslander, he would have played 15 games of Origin for the Maroons. He is just... He's what Origin is all about, and for whatever fucking reason, we never pick him. We always go for the Tavita, the Talakai, the guy that's got a little bit more upside, but he's a gamble. I absolutely loved to see Cat this year, and I've been saying that for a few years that Michael Maguire picked him in his squad at the start of the season, which to me that sends a little bit of a message to New South Wales fans. Hey, we're turning the tide here a little bit. We're not picking the explosive guy. We're not picking the highlights guy. We're going to pick the toughest motherfucker in the room and take on Queensland, which I absolutely love. I think the captaincy is very well deserved. He's obviously, as I said, he was captain of the Dragons a couple of years ago, obviously arriving at the Sharks with Wade Graham there for a long period of time. That was not an option. But absolutely stoked for Cam McInnes. Dale Finucane, just one of the great guys of rugby league. I remember... People forget, like he was on the bench for the Bulldogs, I believe, in the 2012 or 2014 grand final. One of the two. The Bulldogs couldn't keep him in their salary cap, and they essentially rang Craig Bellamy and was like, hey, we got a special one here. We don't want to see him go to a joint that he'll go to waste. Are you interested? And the Melbourne Storm took him. He had an incredible career there. Craig Fitzgibbon then came on as the new coach, and, you know, the guy that he decided to build his new squad around, Nicho Hynes and Dale Finucane, to set standards. He's done a tremendous job. He's obviously getting older now, Dale. He has slowed down a little bit over the last few years, but a premier forward in our game. And they're just two guys that I can never picture them ever getting in trouble. I can never picture them ever setting a foot wrong. And I can never picture them not being two of the toughest guys in the field. And that's what I like about this decision, that the Sharkies, their DNA at the moment is they're all about flashy plays, high-scoring games. What they need to sort out is their defense, and I love that Craig Fitzgibbon, one of the toughest hombres to ever play the game, has gone, you know who's going to be my leader? Not Nicho. I'm going to go for the two toughest guys in this team to set the standards, which I really, really like.
Yeah, no, I love it too. And you talked about his time at South Sydney and everything, and my memories of him are that exactly that, never a foot out of place. I believe he won best and fairest. Like he's that guy, you know, and And I think that type of behaviour should also be rewarded. I think often the captaincy is given to like the headliner, but it should be given to the most consistent, the strongest, the ones that you know are going to be there day in, day out. Yeah,
and I think like a guy that I mentioned there as an option could have been Nicho Hynes, and I think that this will work out really well. That in 2 to 3 years' time, when those boys their careers start to wrap up, Nicho will just be at the perfect age to really take it on. So I like the direction the Sharkies are heading in. Just got to win that finals game and get over that speed bump. But, I mean, they signed Hamlin Welle the other day, re-signed him. Adam Fanua-Blake arrives next year.
They got some strength on that side.
And the Sharkies, you know, I mean, you guys saw on the weekend in the trial, my boy Ito, an absolute star, still can't get into this side. They are in a damn good spot at the moment, the Sharkies. That premiership window is wide open. Yeah, no, this is a very exciting season because I think that's a similar story for a few of these sides. We're seeing a lot of them tightening up. They're looking pretty polished and sharp, and I'm very excited to see what happens. Well, is that us? I think that's us. I think the silence said it all. We covered it all, didn't we? Sorry, I thought there was one more coming our way. How good. Guys, we will have Las Vegas content flowing out to you over the next few days. Beers and Break Evens tomorrow at 3 p.m, so be there for a major announcement. And then making its debut tomorrow night, we've got the Supercoach Late Show where we unbuckle the belt, sink into the chair a little bit, and we get a little bit rogue. So brace yourself for that. Myself, Timmy, Catman do. We're going to get stuck into that. So 2 episodes of Beers and Break-Evens coming your way tomorrow, as it will be for the rest of the 2024 season. How are you feeling about the daily double of episodes, Kat?
I love it. I think that the late show is a great way to engage a little bit more with people. I know like you guys have so many questions and there's a lot of engagement, so this is an opportunity to bridge that gap a little bit.
There's and I don't want to put too much heat on you, but there's a bit of pressure on you when it comes to the late show.
Yeah,
you've got an important role.
I know. I'm gonna be steering the ship, shall we say?
Yeah, you're the fullback. Me and Timmy are on the wing, so big pressure on you. I'm keen to see how you go in the cauldron.
Yeah, I think I'll do just fine. I've been in high pressure situations before. I grew up playing sport. I know what I'm doing.
Let's see if she's all sizzle and a little bit of steak or what's going on there. I don't know.
No. Full protein meal over here.
Make sure you're there. 3 p.m. tomorrow, Beers and Break-Evens. Then I think it's going to be like 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. I'm going to be in Las Vegas, so that's up to Kat and Tim. But brace yourself for that. The late show tomorrow night where we unbuckle the belt, answer all your questions and get stuck into that. Kat, it has been a pleasure. It is never, ever a chore. And we will not see you next week on the news topic because I will be hungover in Las Vegas. Well, actually, we might see him on Thursday or something.
Yeah.
We might sneak one in.
Yeah, I think we can. There's going to be a lot to talk about post Vegas. I think maybe we'll do a Vegas special, a little wrap up of your experiences.
And guys, stay tuned for big announcement in the next week or so. Probably just when I get back from Vegas, we will be launching the Guru Patreon for 2024. Myself and Kat, we've been deep in the lab sorting that out, getting that ready to launch to you guys. Heap of content there. You can be part of the Roo Crew. It'll be $8 a month, so you're looking at it. What is it, Kat? $2 a week.
Let's just say it's cheaper than most things.
Cheaper than most things. I was wondering where you were going.
Yeah,
with that.
didn't know where I was going. So
cheaper than half a cup of coffee each week, and it'll get you about 5 or 6 extra podcasts. There will be video content to come with it as well. So an absolute stack. And actually, these news things that we do, me and Kat, that will actually shift into the Patreon. So you get probably one of those a week, maybe 2, depending on what's going on. We really there's a minimum that you'll get in the Patreon, but then there's a roof that I haven't built yet.
Yes,
so,
no, we're living in a house with no roof at the moment.
Yeah, if it rains, we're in some serious curry. Great for you guys though. Plenty of content coming your way. So Roo Crew launching in the next week or 10 days. Make sure you're there. I think you get your first week or something free. We'll give you all the details and whatnot. But that's super exciting, and we will see you tomorrow on Beers and Break-Evens.